So last class we were discussing about fundamentals of computer graphics. So in which we started with modeling and manipulations. In the case of modeling, you can model any objects, whatever you want, you can model it. Any 2D geometrical object, you can model it. And after modeling the object, you can perform some manipulations onto the object. Those are all called transformations. We had 5 different transformations: translation, rotation, scaling, reflection, and shearing. So I have given you just what is translation and all with the example. Now we will be moving on to the mathematical representation of how these transformations are going to be used. And before that, I think this connectors I have not touched. Just I'll tell you what is connectors. So you can able to draw a circle. So I'm using the paint and I'm drawing a circle. If you are drawing the circle, you can see the inside portions are not colored. Only the outer or the edges you can see the objects. To make this color, you can use a fill color and you can color it with whatever the color you want. You can perform the option. Similarly, when you make it with the help of when you are making some, the paint is an example for an application softwares. Now, if you are using a general purpose software, any high level languages, in that case, again, you will be setting a pixels. Only the outline you can get it via that pixels. So you can either get a circle or whatever object you want. Only the outlines will be there. Inside it is not colored. To color the interior region, we have to go for some filling algorithms. And the filling algorithm basically uses 4 or 8 connectors. In the case of 4 connectors, so when it comes to an display, it's everything is called as an pixel. So you will have the pixel informations. So everything, whatever I'm talking with respect to 2D only. So you have a pixel informations, and whatever object you are projecting it onto the plane, you can see the objects. Only the outer region will be there. Interior portion is not colored. To color the interior portion, we can use some filling algorithm. As I told you, it can either use as a 8 connector or a 4 connector. When it comes to 8 connectors, 4 connector, you are in this location. So yeah, the 4 neighbors for this location XY. You are in the position XY. The 4 neighbors for this are this one, and this and this. So it can be either x plus 1y, x minus 1y, x, y plus 1, x, y minus 1 are the 4 regions you will be getting out of it. And similarly, when it comes to an 8 connectors, all the diagonals are included. So you will have 8 neighbors for this pixel xy. When you try to make a coloring or filling the interior region, you will start with the one position XY and you will check whether the 4 neighbors are with the same color. If they are in same color, which means they are the interior region, you can color with whatever the color you want, you can color it. If suppose when you reach this position, you see the 4 neighbors, 1, 2, 3. So this neighbor is a boundary and this neighbor is a boundary. This neighbor is a boundary color. So no need to fill with any color here because it's already a boundary. Likewise, it will be performed in the case of 4 connector and 8 connectors. So a pixel XY, 4 connectors are the 4 neighbors for the pixel XY and 8 neighbors for pixel XY. Based on that, you can fill with the required color. To the again transformations. So the first transformations we are going to discuss here is translation. So you have an object. If you wanted to move the object to some other location, then you have to go for a transformation. Translation. Mainly the transformations or manipulation. The transformations are used to change the orientation or shape or size of the object. Basic transformations, translation, rotation, and scaling. In the case of translation, the object size is not going to be changed. It will be same size. And only what is the change it is going to have is the location is going to be changed with respect to translation. You have this coordinate value. Let the coordinate value is x, y, and you are getting a new coordinate value x dash, y dash. After adding how long you wanted to move, how many steps you are moving, that is called as a translation factor. So you have to add the translation factor with the existing pixel position value to get the new pixel. So we can represent this as x dash new coordinate position x dash equal to old coordinate position plus translation factor with respect to x, and similarly with respect to y. So this is the equations we have used to derive the new pixel coordinate value, and similarly this will be applicable for each and every pixels you have in the corresponding objects. Suppose we can represent this in the form of a matrix. Later I will be talking about why the matrix representations are required. And next we will be moving on to the rotation. So repositioning the object along the circular path. Previous case, the reposition along a straight line path. Here the reposition along a circular path. It requires an input theta, how much degree you wanted to rotate an object. Theta is input is required. The theta can be either a positive value or it can be a negative value. If it is a positive theta, then the rotation will take place in counterclockwise direction. If it is a negative value, then the object will be rotated in clockwise direction. This is clockwise, this is anti-clockwise direction. Now when we perform a rotation, we have some object, let it be the origin, and you have an object, some object is represented here. If you are rotating the object with respect to 0, 0, either plus or minus theta, you can use it and you can rotate the object. So for if you are rotating it, the equation we have used here to obtain a new coordinate x dash is x dash equal to x cos theta minus y sin theta, y dash equal to x sin theta plus y cos theta. So this is with respect to the origin. If you are rotating with respect to the origin, this is the new coordinate value we have obtained with respect to the given object. When we use it, when the object is rotated with respect to some other point, some arbitrary point, some arbitrary point. So in such cases, let it be an arbitrary point or some fixed point. So in such cases, how we have to do, last class itself we have discussed this. When to make it convenient, we need to translate this to the origin, and then you can perform a rotation with respect to the origin, and again you can apply inverse translation so that the object will be kept in the proper position. The final output will give you a rotation with respect to the arbitrary point or a fixed point sx and yf. So to perform this, we need to follow a set of steps. This is with respect to origin. If it is with respect to some other point, then we have to follow some set of steps. The first step is translate the object with respect to origin, translate with respect to origin, and then perform rotation with respect to origin, and then again perform inverse translation. So what is the translation factor we will have here? Any guess? What is Tx and Ty? What is the translation factor? Now this is the point we have. This point we are moving here. So what is the translation factor? Any guess?
Minus x.
Minus x or xf?
Xf, sorry.
Yeah. So this is the point you have. So the x value will be minus of sf and minus of yf will be the translation factor we have used. So with this translation factor, this point will be fixed with your origin, and then you can apply this equation for performing a rotation with respect to the given degree theta. And again, you have to perform inverse translation. What is the translation factor here? So this again has to be kept in this location. So it is
Plus xf.
plus yf. Clear? The logic is clear. We are converting this and we are doing it. So when you perform this, what will happen to your x dash and y dash? So we will write down step by step, and finally we can able to make out a single equation like this using this set of steps what we have followed. So first step, in step 1, let we are getting a x triple dash, which is x minus x is the original point of the object what we have, minus of translation factor, this thing. Similarly, y triple dash is y minus yf. Second step, we are going to perform rotation with, now the object is aligned with the origin. Now we are performing a rotation with an angle of theta. We are getting an y dash. What is y dash now? What happens to this x now? The x dash equal to x cos theta minus y sin theta. What will be the x and y? X and y is the initial position of the object with respect to this. Now we have changed the object to origin. What happens to this x? Now the x and y value becomes, is it clear? The question is clear. We have a pixel position xy. We have converted this position to align with the origin. What will be the new value of x now?
0.
0, 0.
0. No, we have aligned only this fixed point to 0, 0, but not xy. xy, this is the object. Be clear with this. This is the object we have. The pixel coordinate, I am taking this as a pixel coordinate xy, and this is some point we have here. This point we are aligning. When we are aligning this point here, obviously every point, whatever the pixel you have, everything we are making into x minus f. So which is nothing but x triple dash. It's clear. So now the value, what happens, I will make it in another color. So the object is now in some other position somewhere. The size of object remains same only. So the same object, this reference point is now 0, 0 and the pixel positions are x minus sx and similarly y minus yx. So this is we represented as x triple dash. So similarly for each and every point, I'm talking about only one point, every point we need to convert into the corresponding location. So this will be triple dash. Clear? Yes?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, y dash equal to, we know x cos sine theta plus y cos theta. So again, x and y are triple dash, not xy. If you put xy, that indicates the original position xy. Now the xy is changed to x triple dash. We have aligned the reference point with respect to the origin. So it is changed now. Now we have performed a rotation. This equation performs the rotation with respect to the origin. But the problem we have is we need to perform rotation with respect to this arbitrary point or a fixed point, which is xf and yf. So what we need to do now, again this should be placed. After rotating it, you revert this back to the position by applying inverse translation so that you will able to get the object something like this or some rotation. Here when you rotate it, maybe it is rotated like this. After replacement, you are getting the output as this. This is with respect to the given fixed point. So the third step, it's clear, no? It's clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes.
if xy becomes x minus xf and y minus yf, that means xf and yf is the origin, no? Not xy.
No. Yeah, this is not the origin. This position, our aim is to make this position to the origin. Let us take, I will take a extra new page. The problem here is you have given a single point. Instead of talking with an object, I am taking a single point. You have given a point xy. This point you need to rotate. So for making a rotation of point, you cannot understand how the rotation is there. So let us take a line. Okay, 2 endpoints and you have intermediate pixels here with this line. Now, if you are making, if the line is here, clear? This is the line I'm taking it. If you are rotating this with respect to theta, theta is the angle we are rotating with respect to the origin. Clear? So either the object can be here, 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 based on the angle of rotation. Right? Is this concept is clear? With respect to the origin, if you are rotating, the object may be anywhere here. The line may be anywhere here after rotation. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now coming to
Yes,
second scenario is we are not rotating with respect to origin. We are rotating the object with respect to this point. This is now your point. With this point you need to rotate. So what will be the angle you will have here? So I can make out another. So if it is with respect to this, you can directly apply theta and you can do it. But this is not the case. We need to perform rotation with respect to this point with the angle of some theta degree. So to make this point, to fix we are fixing this point with this origin so that you can rotate with respect to this theta. Clear? So when you are moving this point to this, the arbitrary point or the fixed point, what we are going to rotate is, what we are going to do is that we are changing to the origin. So when you move this to this position, what will the, with respect to the object, what will happen to the object? If you are not moving the object here, what will happen? Only this position you are moving and you are making a rotation. Again, that is not a correct. If you are moving this origin to this position, all the pixel values need to be aligned along with this origin, no? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So our aim is to, instead of this fixed point, we are making this align with the origin. When you align this with the origin, object, whatever object we are considering, all the object need to be aligned with respect to the origin. Then only your final output will be correct. That's why we are doing this step here. This indicates, XY indicates the object coordinate value. This XF and YF is the some fixed point through which we are going to rotate. Clear? So this we are moving here. Obviously, each and every pixel of the object is moved to align with the origin. And then you are rotating with respect to the angle theta. After rotation, this is the object you have obtained. This is with respect to origin, you have rotated it. Now this need to be again placed to the proper position such that the rotation will be taken place with respect to this fixed point. Again, inverse translation we need to apply for each and every pixel position. So x dash and y dash, we are getting a final x dash y dash. What is the value we will get for this? This is an inverse translation. We know that translation is x plus t, x plus ty, sorry, tx, which is x dash. Now what is the value we will use here? What is the new coordinate value right now? This coordinate value is, this is triple dash. Clear? This is your triple dash. Clear? Triple dash is x minus xf. After rotation, you will be getting a point called x. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not getting any answers.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So this position is x double dash. Now what is your, after translation you are getting x dash. This is your final output of rotation. So what is your x dash now? X dash equal to x plus translation factor. What is the translation factor? We have already that the translation factor is, yes, SF and YF. So instead of x, we are going to add XF. What about your x now? X is
X
double
double
dash,
dash.
double dash,
Double
x
dash.
double dash.
Double dash.
Yes, double dash, because this point we are talking about x double dash plus XF. Y dash is y double dash plus YF. So this is the final object we are obtained here. So we can make entire thing in one equation instead of writing this with the separate steps. Just for understanding, I'm writing stepwise. So x dash, how we are getting x dash? X dash is obtained with inverse translation factor plus x x triple dash is can be rewritten as, I can directly substitute this here, cos theta minus y minus yf sin theta. Just substitutions I am using here everywhere. So to make it more clear, let it be plus SF. So it is right now, it will be very clear. So y minus yf sin theta plus y minus, 1 minute, sorry, this is x, no, x. So instead of this y dash, we are substituting this value. So this is x triple dash. X triple dash is x minus fx sine theta plus y minus yf cos theta plus this as such. So this is the final equation with respect to some arbitrary point or some pivot point or some fixed point. When you rotate with respect to origin directly, you can use x cos theta minus y sin theta. And similarly for y, you can use x sin theta plus y cos theta. When you are rotating with respect to some other arbitrary point or a pivot point, then you have to follow this set of steps. First, convert the object with the align with the origin and then rotate with respect to the origin and again place the object in the original position by applying inverse translation so that you will get an x dash and y dash new coordinate with the following steps. It's clear? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we will be doing some problems in the next class. Maybe that time it will be more clear to you. Third transformation is scaling. In the case of scaling, in the previous two cases, whereas in the case of translation and rotation, the object size is not changed. Either the object is moved to in a circular path or it can be moved in a straight line, but the shape of the object remains same. But when it comes to a scaling, it changes the shape of the object. It alters the shape of the object. Either the shape can be smaller or it can be bigger. So last class we have discussed an example, a car is moving or a ball you are throwing in up. When it goes high, you can see that the size of the object will be reduced. When it comes down, the size of the object will be elongated. So for those effects, we need to do the scaling operations. Scaling alters the size of the object. The factors is x dash is, I mean, new coordinate what we are obtaining is just multiply your scaling factor. We have two factors here. One is with respect to x and y. This is called scaling factors. We need to multiply the scaling factor with the corresponding coordinate value. So this is the equation, mathematical equations by which we can obtain. Suppose your scaling factor sx and xy. Let us take an example. Instead of this simple object I'm taking, we have a circle with a radius of 5 with center 2, 2. Okay. When you scale this object, this position, okay, these are all the pixels we have. So when you scale this, so for example, if your scaling factor is less than 1 and your scaling factor is greater than 1, scaling factor is equal to 1. If your scaling factor is greater than 1, let it be a 2, 2. Your pixel position is you have 1, 1, somewhat 2, 2, something you have. So what will happen when you scale this object? Or like 3 coordinates I can take. This will be very difficult. Let it be 1, 1, 1, 2, and 2, 1. And this is 1.5, 2. Clear? This object will take. When you apply a scaling factor of 2, what will happen to the output? What will happen to this pixel?
Enlarge
This is x and y. This becomes 2, 2 and this become 4, 2 and this become 3, 4. What will happen to the size of the object now? It's enlarged. If your scaling factor is greater than 1, then you will get the output object in an enlarged shape. If your scaling factor is less than 1, let it be 0.5 and 0.5. Your size of the object will be reduced. So the size of the object can be reduced or elongated based on the scaling factor what we are going to use. If both the scaling factor are equal, here you can see both are equal, you will get uniform scaling. If it is not equal, you will get an differential scaling. And the fourth transformation is reflection. So these three transformations, last class with an example we have discussed. A person is moving or a car is moving. If a car is moving, each and every object of a car should be moved. So when you move this car in this direction, a person is viewing from here. So what are all the transformations we need to apply for this? So these pixel positions, all this pixel position need to be moved step by step. Should be translated with some equal translation factor, either 1 or 2 you can use. 1 pixel you can move or 2 pixel you can move, whatever pixel you want you can move. Suppose I'm using 1 pixel, you can see slow movement of a car. Suppose I wanted to move the car in an high speed. What is the change I have to use there? I'm using a translation factor 1.
It increase the translation factor.
What about ty? Ty should be equal to 1 or ty should be what? What will happen to your y value? I'm moving in this direction. What? Yeah,
0.
This will be 0. No need to do anything. Here you have to increase by 1. So you can see all this x pixel will be moved here and y pixel is constant only. No change in your y pixel. So you can see the object is moving. You wanted to make it move in a faster movement. What is the change we can give?
Increase tx factor.
Tx value can be either 5 or 10, whatever you want, you can give it so that you can get a movement in a faster way. So I think now you have understood what is a translation. So when you move this translation, this object is moving. What about the circle? I mean wheels. What is the rotation? Because to get a realistic view, the wheel should be rotated. It is not going to move in this direction. It should be rotated with its axis. So you have to give the rotation for both the wheels. So rotation will be given here. You can give a degree of rotations and you can make it rotated. And when it moves this direction, a person is viewing here. When it reaches this position, what will happen to the shape of the object?
It should scale down. It should decrease.
It should scale down. So there you have to give the along with the translation, you can use scaling also so that you can see the object size is reduced. When it comes back, you can again increase the scaling factor so that you can get a realistic view. So now I hope these three transformations are clear to you. Whatever we are discussing with respect to 2D only, but actually in our virtual reality, we need to use 3D objects. So we have to give all this thing with respect to the 3D. To make the concepts clear, I'm first handling the 2D. It is very easy for me to express in 3D. That's why I'm explaining everything in 2D. Now, another example, reflection we will take. A person is walking or something he's doing. Let us we have a water here. Some water is there. If a person is moving, what will happen? He can get the reflections here in the water. Yes or no? Dam is there. A person is standing in here and he is looking inside this. What will happen? He can see his reflection there. Or you have a mirror. Let us take simple example, mirror. A person is viewing in him in a mirror. What will he can able to see his face there, but the face will be seen in a reflected manner. It is not going to be in the same order. So the reflection is a mirror image of an object. So for this effect, we are using a reflection. Reflection can be performed with respect to different axis. Either you can reflect it with respect to x-axis or y-axis or perpendicular to x-axis, or with respect to any line, or with respect to diagonal, we can perform the reflection. There are 5 different categories of reflections we can perform. So I will be completing the shearing and then I will be moving on to the reflection, because there are different kind of reflection we need to discuss. So I will be talking about the shearing due to time constraint. Next class I will be touching up the reflection part. Shearing or shear. Till now, whatever we have seen, when it comes to reflection also, what will happen to the object size and the shape? Size will be changed when you reflect it?
No, ma'am.
No, size will be remain same. What about the position?
Even the position remains.
But it is in inverted case. Suppose
laterally inverted.
I am performing with respect to this axis. Yeah, it will be, this object will look this way, which means x value will be minus of x. X value, it becomes minus, no negative value you will get. X will be, y value will be minus, x value remains same. So negative value you will be getting for y. May be changing. When it comes to shearing, right now 4 different transformations we have discussed in all transformation. The shape of the object remains same. Comes to shearing, the shape of the object is going to be changed. We are going to shear or stretch in one direction. So you have a rectangle. If you are stretching, you are making an x as an fixed and you are stretching in y direction, what will happen now to this object? This x, all the x is same, and y direction you are stretching this object. The object shape becomes this. So what happens to the shape of the object? Earlier it was a rectangle, it was now converted into an somewhat like a parallelogram. Let it be a parallelogram. So the shape of the object is changed here. How we are going to perform this shearing operation? So with shearing can be performed with respect to x direction and also with respect to y direction. Either you can keep y as a fixed and you can stretch in x direction, or vice versa we can do it. So when we perform with respect to x direction shearing, x direction shear, for performing this we need some factor called shearing factor. The x direction factor is SH x and y is SHY. These are all the shearing factors we are considering. We are getting a new coordinate x dash. The new coordinate y dash coordinate, with respect to x we are sharing it. Y value remains same and the x value is changed to x plus shearing factor of x multiplied with y, you will get the x dash value. Similarly, when you perform with respect to y dash shearing, y direction shearing, x value is remains same, but your y dash value is changed to shearing factor with multiplied with x and added with y. This is the value you have obtained. So next class we will be discussing with an example and we will discuss it. And similarly, now we are shearing with respect to the origin. And similarly, we can shear your object with respect to some arbitrary point. If it is some fixed point x, y or x, f, x, f, what we have to follow? Either x or y direction shearing, that doesn't matter. What we have to follow now, all the pixel coordinates should be aligned with the center origin. So we need to perform a translation. After performing a translation, you can shear the object either in x or y direction. After performing a shearing, perform an inverse translation. What we have discussed with respect to rotation, the same logic can be used here. If it is with some arbitrary point, we can perform this. While we perform translation, each and every pixel will be translated. So the factor x triple dash we will have, x triple dash is x minus x f. Similarly, y triple dash equal to y minus yf, and apply shearing factor with respect to triple dash values, and then you will get an x double dash value. Similarly, y double dash value. And finally, you can able to get x dash and y dash new coordinate with respect to shearing with respect to the pivot point or the arbitrary point by adding the translation factor, this translation factor. Is it clear? Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Yes.
Yeah. So next class we will discuss a reflection along with some examples. Then the problem will be very clear to you. If this is clear, then it is easy to understand the 3D concept. Okay.